Going to be going straight into game one right now on Hogwarts Snow. Both teams are nice and ready. We're going to go ahead and get straight into this for you guys. Taking a look right now from the look of Hellfire Hogs, we see Cindy's perspective here on Chaser. We'll get your guys' scoreboard up there. Very nice. We see Cardi right off the bat. And if you hear me say Cardi, this is Section L, who is doing a little bit of justice for Cardi. But Carlson is the one that ends up getting it, going straight into this 10-0 in the first 20 seconds, making a first goal to a team unknown.
Yeah, really good late pass there. Not necessarily a one-timer, but just dumping it in. Nice thought process to say, hey, maybe I don't have to throw the one-timer. Maybe just take the catch really close to the goal, take a dodge, and take the shot.
Now we're taking a look at Team Unknown right now, looking at David ERB, a little bit of beater action right now, seeing where he is coming at this from. There we go, I had to fix the scoreboard there. All right, and now taking a look, a hit with a bludger on Pentradox. Now, we seen yesterday between the Squires and the Nifflers, those beater bludgers, they get thrown a lot. And a lot of those hits, they takes 2.5% off the snitch meter. And so it's just a compounding snowball that one after one, it makes it so that way you're able to scale and get even larger and larger on that snitch meter. But the bumps, if they come out, like we seen with Dementor yesterday, can change that. But right now we do see the lead in Unknown's favor going into this 20-0.
Yeah, another quick score by Carlson. When we were playing against him, he definitely put up a lot of points against us. So a very potent score for the team. I believe we also saw the chaser for or the seeker for Hellfire Hogs was able to bump the bludger back, if I saw that correctly.
Yep.
So interesting to see the seeker builds changed depending on who's playing. We saw a lot of a bump heavy playstyle from Dementor yesterday, and now sending back the bludger, not worrying about burning your dodge necessarily, but using the bump to get rid of it also.
Yeah, and kind of taking a look right now, a lot of attempts on goal from Team Unknown onto Hellfire Hogs. Milver is doing pretty good stopping some, but the amount of attempts that go onto goal definitely makes it hard to keep up blocking shots. Eventually, one slips through.
Yeah, the amount of time you spend on the opponent's side of the field or your side of the field as a chaser is super important because, like you said, just the constant pressure of shots being taken, the more and more that you have opportunity wise on goal, the more often they'll go through. And there you go. You see Carlson again, a third score at the 4:30 mark in the game.
Yeah, we can go ahead and switch over real quick to the Seeker perspective as Jagard gets close. And never mind, before I can even switch, Jagard gets the catch very fast there from him. So that is going
Yeah,
to bring us to 60 to
just under
0.
the 420 mark.
That was a fast catch.
Absolutely. We definitely see the caliber of seekers, right? You know, if they're catching above the 4 minute, it's really good. Above 420, it's impressive. And then that 440 mark is like absolutely incredible. Anyone catching in a 440 in an actual game, absolute beast. So really strong offense from our team unknown so far. That's 60 points, but again, Carlson with the score, putting up another goal, making it 70-0 against the Hellfire Hogs.
Carlson kind of being a bit of a MVP forward chaser right now and being able to score not only on this game but in the games prior. I know with having Claire on there and then Section L, they kind of lost some of their other chasers that they were normally running with. And Claire is really good defensive chaser. Claire runs a 505 build, so she's not having one timer and she's not necessarily going for like a pass build. She's going for more disruption and passing it to Carlson, for example, the people who can score.
Yeah, I personally love players like that. Just feed me the ball, I'll definitely score. I appreciate everything you do. My favorite thing to do is in front of the goal and toss that ring in. So having teammates that are willing to play selflessly and hand you the ball is always fun to play with.
We're taking a look real quick at the seeker perspective, or not seeker perspective, the keeper and chaser perspectives, kind of seeing Milver being attacked by this onslaught of players. Kind of just so that way you can see the right side, that's Hellfire Hogs as dedicated on the scoreboard up top, and then left is Unknown. But just to kind of show you what's going on in the thought process as both games happen right now. We see right now the Quaffle goes in possession nearly of Carlson. It goes into a fumble. Section L gets it back. It's heading back towards Milver. You see Milver getting ready, kind of setting up for whatever's heading his direction right now. We see them coming this way. Kind of that pass play, you're able to see the perspective from both these players, what's going on in their heads. and he doesn't able to get the shot right there from the left. We see him take possession back, a rear cam shot, and it doesn't be seen by Milver. Well played on that shot there.
Yeah, really hard from the keeper perspective to see because the chaser is leaving the pitch. So it's kind of a false sense of security you give them, and then the ball just comes flying out into a ring. So maybe you've taken your eyes off the chaser because they've turned around. They're going to reset. You have time to reassess, and then all of a sudden the ball gets shot into a ring without you noticing. So rear cam's really strong. One of my favorite ways to score personally.
And two things just happened there. We've seen Pingu on the Hellfire Hogs score on Unknown, but then Carlson as a chaser knocking out Pentradox, a seeker on Hellfire Hogs, giving Jguard a huge lead into the second snitch.
Yeah, absolutely. This pass to Cardi or Section L, the one timer coming through, just dinging off the top ring. Again, everyone feeling those aim assist changes. Not as easy as it once was. Be sure to go in the practice area, turn on championship difficulty, and get those drills in because not as easy as it was previously to get those one timer or quick flick shots anymore.
And Jguard with a failed attempt to catch right there. Carlson, though, able to make 90 points. They're going for this 120 here as Jguard gets the catch. That is going to be game
Very,
one in the best of three.
Yep, very strong performance by a team unknown. We definitely felt it against them again, putting up I think 40 or 50 total points against us in the entire split we had where we had our 120 Os previously. So a very formidable team just showed there tons and tons of offensive pressure getting through. Yeah, lots of Carlson goals on Chaser and Jguard of course securing the double snitch.
We're going to be taking a look at some statistics here in a moment, but we'll let these teams kind of go into this from a perspective of not just a chaser, but also just overall. How do you think Hellfire Hogs needs to adapt and change going into game two to not have a repeat of this last match?
Yeah, it's tough because both sides of the offense were firing on all cylinders there. You had Jguard having a pretty dominant showing for the snitch game, as well as Carlson just locking up chaser play. So, in my opinion, you've got to stop the bleeding somewhere. So, I would probably focus, maybe spy or place a specific player specifically on Carlson. Lots and lots of punches and tackles to kind of disrupt that play. You see that he's always on the opportunistic side of the field going for shots. So just have someone on him the whole time, interrupting him, harassing him, making sure he can't convert anymore.
Getting these stats pulled up for you guys now. For those who didn't notice last stream, I was able to start fetching some extra data to kind of highlight a little bit more on what you don't see behind the scenes between these players. So I'll be able to show you guys those in just a moment, nearly finishing it up. I was able to make things a little bit more streamlined, a little bit faster for you guys, so that way we can get these out. And it looks like, seeing right here, that David didn't get any elimination, so he played a lot more disruptive that game. Take a look here as well from the Seeker gameplay, but we'll go ahead and get these stats up so that way you guys can see them right now. Taking a look, this is the Beater and Seeker statistics from last game. This is going to be showing on the left, Team Unknown, and then on the right, you'll also be seeing Hellfire Hogs. So let me make these a little bigger for you guys. There we go. On the left side, we had David ERB on Beater, and on Seeker, we had Jguard. On the right for Hellfire Hogs, we had Bilbo T. Baggins and Pentradox as the Beater Seeker combo. Taking a look at this, the eliminations, no eliminations really, except for Bilbo taking out Chasers, making sure that he was able to try and impact the Quaffle gameplay as Carlson was sinking in score after score. And then tackles, no targeted tackles from both sides. That's what that top arrow is, that target symbol. But the bottom one, that's untargeted tackles. So that's when you don't wait for the full bar to go before you click. This just shows you what's going on. And then if you look, 9 out of 26. So not every top tier beater is going to be hitting every single tackle. And this shows right here, both beaters hit roughly the same. And then bludgers, you see they're summoned 23 to 33, 27 to 28 thrown. Out of those thrown, 23 were boosted from one side. And I think my stat, I copied it incorrectly for T. Baggins. Let me correct that real quick for his. That's meant to be
That's pretty
23
impressive.
boosted.
Out of 28 total thrown bludgers, 83 of them were boosted. That is smashing that that boost key as hard as you can.
There we go. It's meant to be 23 boosted there.
There you go. Much better.
Beater, I know David runs a 046, so that's an intercepted build there. And with that intercepted build, he intercepted 7 of those. And then taking a look at the Seeker side, we see J-Guard caught both snitches. Out of those 2, he found one of them, but then Pentradox found the other one. Snitch rings, you kind of get to see a little bit more from J-Guard. Then this is where I like to look. The bump attempts to successful bumps. We see 7 bumps went out from J-Guard, and out of those 7, 4 of them landed. Whereas on the other side, Pentradox threw out 11 of them, but only 2 of them landed. So he threw out more bumps, but he landed less. And those bumps are really important. It's up to 5% without Meter Thief, up to 10% with Meter Thief that you steal from the opposing Seeker. And then stuns, we see that from the side of J-Guard, he only got stunned 3 times, and none of those were from Bludgers, even though 11 Bludgers were sent his way. On the right-hand side, Pentradox was stunned 13 times, 3 of those being bludger hits. And all 3 of those bludgers that were sent his way hit him. So just some interesting stats here. Skinny, what pops out to you?
Yeah, just following the trend we're kind of seeing that we saw with Dementor. I think he had what 75% bump efficiency in the games that they were playing. So again, here it looks like J-Guard's just over 50% versus 11 for 2 for Petrodox. So the efficiency of the bumps are really coming into play, even if you're not running Meter Thief potentially. It really does show that landing those hits, not necessarily ending up in those lag or hit stun phases where you miss the bump or you're just kind of waiting to hit it or waiting to recover from it, do play a large part in getting the snitch catch. So very important to see that efficiency there. And then just the amount of intercepts taking the pressure off of the Seeker 7-0. Not necessarily saying that you have to run it, but noticing that 7 times potentially Jagar didn't have to dodge because of those intercepts is really important too.
Yeah, right now I'm trying to pull up everything so you guys can see everything. I'm going to also see that Tama is playing instead of Pentradox. So we'll go ahead and see River, the stat under tackles. So the bullseye without the X, that's targeted tackles. So that's when you wait for the entire bar to fill up before tackling. The one below it is untargeted tackles. So as you see, not a lot of lock-ons.
Yeah, very important to kind of just go for the tackle and not wait for it. Specifically because a lot of players now are utilizing things like rear cam. We can see you chasing us. We say, okay, we know you're getting closer, and when you're a certain distance away, I'm throwing that dodge. So potentially, the seeker looking behind, saying, okay, I know for a fact they're getting close enough. I need to go for a dodge or make a move to evade them, or throwing the unlocked on tackles where you could say, okay, I know they're in this direction. They're making the round at the bend by rings. If I take this angle, I just throw it because I know I have at least a couple frames worth of hitbox that will connect regardless if I'm locked on or not. And so a lot of higher tiered, higher leveled players are saying, I'm confident in my angling, my positioning, that I could just throw this unlocked tackle and guarantee that it'll hit.
Yeah, and a lot of times with the way that Seekers are very squirmy, you don't have the time for lock-ons. It's getting to the point where if you try and lock onto someone, most of the time the Seeker is faster than you, so they're out of your range, or they're also just going to make it so that way when you go for the tackle, they're out of the distance for the tackle by the time that you get the full lock on. So a lot of times you have to more T-bone the Seeker or go at angles in which you don't get the lock-ons. You're going for untargeted and just whack them from the side.
Yeah, especially as a chaser, I'm constantly paying attention to those little arrows that have the white tips on them to show how close you are. So just being aware and knowing someone's close enough to you to dodge and get out of the way or take those up and down turns is really important. So can't just hold on and go for those tackles sometimes. Just got to throw them out.
Yeah, right now we're going to be going into game number 2. This is back on Hogwarts Snow. We're looking from J-Guard's perspective just to see which way the snitch goes, but he does get the first find. He gets that 5% going his direction. And then, like I mentioned, we did see a mix-up as far as Seeker goes on the other side. Instead of Pentradox, we'll be having Tama. So that's something to watch out for the Hellfire Hogs. We'll go ahead and switch over to the perspective of them. Take a look at how things are going from Milver's perspective. There we go. Taking a look right now, now you're seeing from the Hellfire Hogs perspective. As this goes in, Carlson able to get by Milver right there and get the first score of the game.
Yeah, Carlson showing once again why he is playing that forward striker-like position for the team unknown, able to convert quite efficiently with these passes and tosses.
We'll go ahead and switch over to Carlson's perspective. He currently just snatches back the Quaffle, able to steal it from the hands, and we get a freeze. We'll go ahead and see. Oh, there we go. It unfroze just at the right time to watch Carlson sink it into the left hoop once again.
Yeah, most likely taking kind of like a corkscrew approach, starting from that right ring, curling all the way around, looking at the top, going down to the left hoop. So making the keeper have to potentially dive or move to all three of those potential shooting positions, and finally going in for the last one to score.
Yeah, we're seeing as well just the positioning from Carlson being able to be midfield when he needs to be midfield in order to steal and block those passing lanes from a Milver.
Yeah, absolutely. And then playing that back position, right? Not necessarily going all the way down to assist with the defense, but playing that kind of mid line where it says, hey, I have confidence my keeper will have the ball, get it out to me quick for a quick counter strike to get that shot in the goal.
We watched the beater on Hellfire Hogs fall as well, so this takes off a little bit of pressure from J Guard on Team Unknown, kind of making sure that no tackles go their way as the snitch is close. But Carlson, again, 4 goals so far from Carlson. He's going for the plat medal.
Absolutely cooking. Really good positioning to get straight on tackles, which are typically really risky to go for, but you see they pay off when they do land. Not hitting that one from the side, but again, you take on those head-to-head shots. Claire coming in through, really nice tackle to help out. We got the focus cam going, looking at the proper directioning for this pass potentially. One timer going straight up. Oh, but Milver is able to get up there and block it.
We see the pass from Milver to his teammates doesn't go in the hands of his teammates and gets intercepted. He goes for a kick on Seeker, and that puts him past Carlson. Carlson getting his plat medal. 5 goals in this game. Seeker does go
However, the
down though.
kick the kick from Milver on Jagard, so potentially worth it, giving up the score, but now evening out the seeker game.
Yeah, we'll take a look. Tama's POV on the right does look a little laggy, but we'll take a look at Seeker point of view at both sides. You can see J-Guard on the left from Team Unknown, and you can see on the right Tamakwash getting close. That snitch meter is at 100%, so he just needs to stay alive, but J-Guard's able to get some percentage up going into enemy territory for right now Tama. He's not able to quite get the shot there. I'm just watching as a J-Guard ends up getting it.
Yeah, that turn at the rings as Tama got hit is a little unfortunate. I think that threw off the pathing a bit for the snitch catch. Probably could have ended up in his hands had he not get hit on the way around the backside of those hoops.
Yeah, and I know his point of view was a little laggy to see, but from everything that I seen there, he was just trying to evade, trying to dodge, trying to stay alive because he was in enemy territory and didn't want the keeper to kick him.
Yeah, also with another goal. I think that's what, 60 now?
That's now 60. That is currently 6 goals from Carlson alone, and the snitch catch coming from Jay to lead 90-0. 3 minutes left in this match. I'm not sure if we're going to see them holding off for a second snitch to try and get the 120-0. It's still early on in the second snitch catch, and they might just end up going for it.
Yeah, for sure. Sectional with the pass to Carlson. He's moving down, rear camming it across the field. No lock on for that one. No grab from that for sectional either. Carlson does get it back again. I
Looking
think he's
at
going for the pass. Says, I'm tired of scoring these goals. Someone else, please do it for me.
Right now, we're looking at Pingu's perspective as Cindy approaches the goals, but Landon QC being a brick wall, not letting a single quaffle go through this game, and only one last game.
Yeah, not letting the desync affect him either. Going and ensuring he gets that ball in his hand.
And there we go. We see Carlson going in for it again, but he passes last moment there. We'll kind of take a look at the instant replay. What happened there? He went in for it, dodged the bludger. It knocked out of his hands and into Section L, aka Cardi, going into this, leading the victory to a full 100-0 game.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but also opportune timing. You know, you got the proper timing on the bludger hit. The ball got bounced out of the hands, but of course, just the pressure and the offense and the mindfulness of sectional being there in time to one timer the ball in, regardless of where it ended up, even if it did get broken up.